John Calipari and pizza is just the story gift that keeps on giving. You'll remember around this time last year, we talked to now former Georgia Tech head basketball coach Josh Pastner, who was on the Memphis staff with John Calipari when Calipari had interviewed for the NC State job after Herb Sendek left for the desert in 2006. You follow me?
Got it.
We connecting all
Table
those dots?
set.
Okay.
John Calipari comes to Raleigh, interviews with NC State. Got it.
You and I lived that search. Mm-hmm. It was an exhaustive search.
It was.
And you and I will never forget the things that it really, gave birth to on the internet, like FlightAware. Tracking flights during a coaching search really went mainstream, if not began with that NC State basketball coaching search.
Yes, NC State fans gave you that, so you're welcome.
As with tracking coaches through internet means like webcams as well. There was a site visit to the then RBC Center, and they had a webcam. They used to promote it. Hey, check out what's going on at the RBC Center right now.
Yeah, it was mostly to see we're setting up for the circus, hey, the monster trucks are in town.
Cool, right? 24/7 that thing was on unless a concert was taking place. Well, it was on at 2 o'clock in the morning when the lights suddenly came on and people saw these little pixelated bodies checking out the site. That was John Calipari, Lee Fowler, the AD, and everything else. I was always told that part of the issue was that it wasn't exactly like Lee Fowler was going above and beyond to entertain John Calipari, and there was a late-night Dunkin' Donuts run.
That's part of it, yep.
The pizza part was the part that was a little out there. So Josh Pastner tells us last year, reason why Calipari didn't take that NC State job was because
he couldn't find a decent slice of pizza in Raleigh.
Yeah. He's like, nah, that was a no-go for me. So I guess Pastner's told the story a couple times now. Josh Graham, WSJS, here's the story.
Bought Pastner pizza this year.
We did.
Based on that story, to prove to him that there was good pizza in Raleigh.
And he agreed.
Yes.
So Josh Graham of WSJS, he's in Greensboro for the NCAA tournament first-round games. Calipari and Kentucky are there. So Josh decides to get to the bottom of this and ask Cal, hey, what's up with the pizza thing?
You said a couple years ago you were close to taking the NC State job back when you were at Memphis, and recently Josh Pastner told us that you told him it was a bad pizza experience that might have led to you not taking the job. Can you?
Josh is out of his mind. No, they look. I've had people talk to me throughout my career, and NC State was one of those teams, and knowing what that league was and all that stuff, but I ended up staying, and we had a heck of a run at Memphis, and it was the right decision for me and probably both programs. But no, pizza, I can't remember. That's the greatest thing about when you start getting older. You just say, I don't remember.
Back left.
Was he on the plane with us, by the way? Was Josh on the plane with us? He wasn't. He's just telling stories. He was on the plane with us?
He said it might have been bad pizza. That's what he told you.
No.
That's what he told me.
No. It was Mellow Mushroom Pizza from Raleigh. Really good place. Mellow Mushroom.
I didn't catch this the first time.
Yeah.
Did you hear what he said when he was talking about why he didn't come? Or the decision? Did you catch it?
No, I didn't catch it.
He goes, knowing what that league was.
Yeah.
I.e., did he mean
tough neighborhood?
I wanted no part of Mike Krzyzewski in 06. I wanted no part of Roy Williams coming off a national championship in 06.
Do you blame him?
Did you catch that?
Yeah, I caught that. I caught that.
Because all of these years later, and we've talked a little bit, Fowler made him pay for the pizza or whatever actually ended up happening. He was never coming
He was never taking the job.
That one sentence gives me a hint that he was never taking the job.
He was never taking that job.
I knew what that league was. Code for I couldn't beat that. Well, in fairness, if Fowler, as we've been now campfire told, made him pay for his own pizza, maybe he said, well, I'm sure is not going to get the recruiting budget that I need to compete with Kay and Roy if I can't get him to pay for my pizza, right? So maybe there was that.
It wasn't this happens all the time. Like you read,
but you hear that.
No, I heard it. I heard it. And I guess the reason why I didn't think about it is that in my mind, it's always been about why would Calipari come to the ACC at this point? There's a reason why Mark Godfrey talked about the tough neighborhood when he got the job.
Endlessly, yes.
Okay? Because he knew what the deal was. There's a reason why whoever the next coach at NC State was going to be was always positioned as, if you can just outlast Roy and Kay,
then the next guy will take Carolina to the championship game in his first year.
Whoops.
And the next guy at Duke will win the ACC in his first year.
Whoops.
Other than that, it'll be fine.
Yeah, no big deal, right? Yeah. No big deal.
Knowing what that league was and all that stuff, but I ended up staying, and we had a heck of a run at Memphis. And
yeah, he did. Got to the championship game in 08 in the San Antonio Final Four. Ended up losing to Kansas.
Josh Pastner is not backing down from this, by the way. He was on some NCAA fast break programming. I don't think this was on TV. I think it was a web thing. And he doubled down on the mellow mushroom part.
So I'm going to have some pizza, and I'm going to let you explain what the heck happened there, Josh.
Well, look, Coach Calipari was being courted, recruited by, obviously, by many schools.
Yeah.
North Carolina State was one of them. And he tells a story about when they wanted him, he wanted to go by the local pizza place because they're going to determine if the pizza was really good, that he would take the job.
Okay.
Well, he went there. He didn't say the name at the time, but he said he went to a pizza place and it just didn't taste right for him. So it's the reason he did not take the North Carolina State job. He judged it based on the tasting of a pizza. Now, it's worked out for him because he came back and continued to win at a very high level at Memphis and then got the Kentucky job. But it was really based on a pizza deal. He was great in that
You're
clip
standing by your side of the story. Pass the pizza down to Tony.
I'll give it
So
Tony.
anyway,
I'm not
so
gonna bogart it.
there's
actually
the exchange on this fast break show for the NCAA. And I think, to your point, Joe, it's more of the metaphor of if you're not going to pay for that's what didn't sit well.
Yeah,
if you're not going to pay for my pizza, what are you not going to
But
be
still,
able to
I
do,
didn't
right?
catch that the first time I heard it. Knowing what the league was, what the job was. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah, man.
for those who are going, mellow mushroom, and people will go, yeah, there's nothing wrong with mellow mushroom. It's been sitting there on Glenwood for a long. I remember when that used to be at top of the hill, believe it or not. That mellow mushroom spot on Glenwood Avenue at one point in time was a top of the hill. Regardless, it's a fine spot. Eat there plenty of times. But you got to remember that in 2006, it was a little bit of a pizza wasteland, not like the elevated pizza you have today. I think at that point, Brothers and two guys had already gone under.
I think they were, yeah.
On Hillsborough Street. I love New York pizza. Some would tell you that's when it was at its peak. Cool, but I don't see Lee Fowler taking John Calipari to the I Love New York Pizza on Hillsborough Street. Maybe you should have. And Lily's is too far away. So, plus, I don't know how long John Calipari had. And as much as I love Lily's,
because the tour was in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I don't know how, Lily's, I love Lily's, but you're probably a pitcher in by the time you get your pizza. And it's worth it, because I love Lily's, and their crust is amazing. But yeah, you wait a little bit at Lily's, man. It's a feature, not a bug. So there's all sorts of reasons why it might have ended up being mellow mushroom. Just saying. Shout out to Josh Graham, Content King.